Hey everybody, can't seem to get it together today. This is the fourth time I've tried this recording. The first time our power went out, so it's just been really hard from there. Today's Friday. You have these assignments today: interpreting scatter plots, your push-ups if you want to do them, typing.com, and your Frederick Douglass assignment. Hopefully you're staying up. Some of you haven't even logged on yet, and I'm a little worried about that. And some of you have logged on and answered the one attendance question, but nothing else. So I'm a little worried about that. Maybe you've been working on things at home and we just haven't seen anything on this end. So that's my hope. Today's work isn't a huge amount because it's Friday, typically an early day. I want to do this assignment for you, associations in data. Most of you have at least attempted it, if not finished it. And so I'm going to actually show you how I would have done it. Hopefully you'll learn something from this. One of the things you'll probably learn is the value of understanding what tools you have and using those tools. So if I go to this assignment, first of all, I have a YouTube video right here that I've been watching, and what's missing, we've already been given this little NBA teams thing, right? And on YouTube, we calculated the Milwaukee Bucks winning percentage. And what I did is I took this NBA teams thing that had the assists and the winning percentage, and I put two more columns in. All you do is click on a column, right click, and then you just insert one. And you can insert as many columns as you want. All right. I put two more columns in. I put wins and losses in. And now I'm going to put in the column winning percentage. Percentage. I'm going to fill out this entire sheet with the wins and losses, and then I'm going to let the computer calculate the winning percentages for me. As long as I know how to calculate a winning percentage, the computer can do this for me. So a lot of you did it by hand, and a few of you did it this way. And to me, this is a little bit easier, and it's a lot easier when it comes to the graphing. So I'm going to pause this video, and then after I bring you back, this is completely filled out. All right, I filled out 3 of these and realized, gosh, I'm having a hard time doing this because of the order these are in. And so I'm going to actually change the order so it's in alphabetical order by this column. So it's easier for me to find the teams because I'm going back and forth between YouTube and this right here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pop YouTube out. I'm just going to take that tab and pull it out. So now I can hit Alt-Tab and go between those two things. All right. Second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just select everything by clicking this spot right here. And after having selected everything, I'm going to go up to Data, and I'm going to Sort Sheet. I just usually click Sort Range so I can pick everything I want to. Sort Range. I notice that I have 2 header rows, and so I'm going to cancel this for a second. I'm going to pop these two rows out. Just delete rows. I right-clicked, and now I'm deleting the rows. Now the header row is the first one. So now I'm going to select everything again, go to Data, go to Sort Range. Data has a header row, and I'm going to sort by team from A to Z. Now you don't want to just click on the column and sort, because then it won't switch these. And the assists and the wins and losses, everything has to go with the team as we sort. So I selected everything and then did the sort. So all of this stuff will follow. You'll notice that these 3 right here, these 3 sections right here that I filled out, they'll move because they're following the team when I do the sort. See how they moved? Now I'm sorted A through W, which means I can now look things up much more easily as I go to this. So I've got, let's see, the Raptors done, Boston Celtics, Miami Heat. So I just go to M, Miami Heat, and the record is 41-24. Okay. Ways to get between cells: you can arrow, you can click, you can tab. All right, tab will do this, enter will take it back to where you started, etc. So once again, I'm going to pause this video, and when I come, here's the advantage of what I just did. It took me maybe 5 minutes to put all these in. After the computer shut down, it maybe took me 10 or 12. So we have here a column for winning percentages, and now comes the value of understanding the concepts that we've learned. I know that percentages are how many of something divided by the total of that something. Well, right now we have wins and losses, all right? And I want to calculate the winning percentage. So I'm going to do wins divided by the total number of games. The total number of games is 20 plus 47 for the Hawks, which is 67 games. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put in a formula, all right? The formula basically is the wins, all right, divided by the total. However, man, my handwriting is just terrible. The total is the wins plus the losses, all right? So the formula is actually wins divided by the wins plus the losses. So I'm going to do that same thing over here. I'm going to put in my wins divided by wins plus losses. When I put a formula in, I put an equals sign in. Most of you have seen me do this. I've done this before. This is equal to the wins, and I'm just going to click on cell for the Atlanta Hawks that is the wins, and it highlights that cell. And now I'm going to divide that, okay? And on the keyboard, I'm just going to click the slash sign, all right? Divided by, it's just a fraction. And now I'm going to put in parentheses, remember PEMDAS, parentheses comes first. So I'm going to put in parentheses the wins plus the losses. So I'm going to click on wins again. I'm going to put plus in on the keyboard. And then I'm going to click on losses. And then I put in a closed parentheses from the keyboard. So what this is doing is it's taking the wins and it's dividing it by the total number of games, win plus losses. All right. And then I just hit enter. And it gives me this decimal. All right. Now, I don't need this big long decimal. All I need is this 0.298, which means 0.30 basically. So what I'm going to do with this column is make it into a percentage. All I have to do is get the column there. I selected the column by clicking on E. And then I'm going to come over here and click on percent. And there we are. There's my winning percentage. So the Atlanta Hawks have a winning percentage of 29.85. Another value of using a spreadsheet like this is I don't need to type this formula in every time. All right. This little box right here, okay, whenever I click on a cell, there's a little tiny square at the bottom right-hand side. If I click on that square and hover over it, I get an X or a cross or a plus sign, whatever you want to call it. Now I'm going to just drag down. I'm clicking and dragging down. All right. And then I let go. And what it does is it changes the C's, C2, D2, to C3, D3, and to C4, D4. And so it basically does the same exact formula, only for the correct row. All right. Now I have all of the winning percentages for all of the teams. It took me a little longer to put the wins and losses in and to put this formula in than it would have taken for me to write down the wins and losses. But the advantage is I just ran to the finish line with winning percentages because it's just right there. All right. I don't need this column. I guess that's superfluous. I didn't need to insert that other one. I just wanted to show you how to do it. So I'm going to delete that column. right? And now I have my winning percentages. Now, a lot of you stopped right there and you're like, okay, I'm done. I've got my winning percentages. But if you remember, I assigned you to do one other thing, and that was to graph it, okay? And so basically what that means is we have to create some kind of a graph with assists on this and winning percentages on this side. That's why we calculated these winning percentages, so that we could then graph them right here. Well, a lot of you went to the trouble to say, okay, well, the lowest winning percentage is, and you had to search through here. What I'm going to do is show you how to find the lowest winning percentage. Once again, I'm going to highlight everything here. I'm going to click data. I'm going to sort the range. It does have a header row. Okay, let me erase a couple of these things. Erasing is fun. And I'm going to choose the appropriate header row here as soon as I'm done erasing. The appropriate header row is winning percentage, and I'm going to sort the winning percentage by, we'll say A to Z, that means 1 through 10, sort. Okay, well, that's just beautiful. My winning percentages go from 23 for Golden State up to 85 for Toronto Raptors. So on my graph here, I'm basically going to set my first little section, or I'm going to start right here with 20. Okay, the bottom of that's going to be 20, and the top is going to be, I'll just say 90. All right, and that gives me 70 in between that I can just kind of go by 5s or 10s or whatever I want to do, and then I can use this scale to then graph my assists and winning percentage. I'm going to show you how to do that in a much easier format as well. I don't know why this came back, but I'm kind of glad it did, because then I can show you what I was doing here. Okay. You guys know the fast forward key, so you can fast forward through this stuff if you haven't already. We'll leave that up there for Sam. Another cool thing. If I do create another column here, I'm going to insert, let's just insert 5 columns to the right. This is going to leave me room to put a graph. A wonderful thing that spreadsheets does is it will create graphs for you. All right. So I'm going to take these 2 pieces and I'm going to hide those columns. Now they're hidden. Then what I'm going to do is highlight B and E, my assists and my winning percentages. And I'm going to simply click on Insert, Chart. Now it picks a chart for you. There's your chart, and it just did my winning percentages all the way up to the top. These are the assists. These are the winning percentages, etc. But what we really want to do is graph these by scatter plot. And so I'm going to come over here to Chart Editor, move my face to Chart Editor, and I'm going to pick a different kind of chart. And if you scroll down through here, you'll notice there's a scatter plot right there. And I can click on that. And it gives me a wonderful, beautiful little scatter plot. There, my chart is done. Now, I know a lot of you are moaning right now, going, Mr. Rob, why didn't you show us this before? Well, I wanted you to understand the things that go behind it, the behind the scenes thing. You needed to really understand how to calculate percentages. You needed to understand how to graph a scatter plot and what goes into it. Now that you've done that, I can show you this, and you're going to appreciate the value of what's happening here. I'm going to click this chart, and I'm actually going to make it a little bit bigger. All right, to highlight a couple of things. Some of you noticed that. Whoops. I just want to move it. Is it not going to move beyond my... it's not going to move beyond my section. There. Now I can move it again. I want to highlight a couple things here because I think it's interesting. If you look at each of these, wow. The way I stretch this chart makes it so there's no line right here, so it looks kind of funny. Maybe if I stretch it a little more, I'll put another line. Nope. All right, well, we can handle that. So when you look at this, you'll notice there's kind of a split right here. If I put a line, I think one of the kids put a line right here. If I put a line right here, there's this lower half and there's this upper half. And it seems like there is kind of a trend between there and there, and another trend between here and here. And so to me, this would need a deeper analysis. Most of you said, there's not much of a trend there. And I agree, there's not much of a trend there. This needs a bit of a deeper analysis for us to really understand what's happening. But there's a split there. There's a pretty obvious split right there. So that's interesting. And maybe I'll analyze it and come back with an answer for you that I think is there. Some of you, if you want monkey bucks, you can analyze this, look at the teams that are up here versus the teams that are down here, and really take a look at it. Lowest winning percentage, we know this is Golden State. I'm wondering if it has to do with a split between conferences, Eastern Conference, Western Conference, something like that, but I don't know. So let's do that analysis. I will, and I'll get back with you for that. But right now, this is the assignment. It took me maybe 20 minutes and stopping and starting the video in between. The value of having this wonderful technology, once you put your stuff in, you can manipulate if you know how. You can create winning percentages very easily. You can create charts very easily once you've got the information in that chart. And it's a lot cleaner. It's a lot easier to work with than a piece of paper at this point. So sometimes when I say write it down, I mean put it in a spreadsheet. Okay? All right. I'll sign off for now. I've got to open my thing for this morning in a couple minutes. So goodbye for now.